Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hairyman, Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. Good to see you guys. Can you believe another week? Man, it's going fast. I cannot believe we're into May. It's already the end of April. Look at that. Crazy how fast the year is just screaming by for sure. But so glad you guys could be here today for my little Squatch Opera Weekly. It's Hairyman's top picks, my picks. So, but I'm going to ask you for yours too. I want to know what you guys think. So it should be fun. It's just my opinion about who I really like out there. So I know I hadn't done a show like that before. So I thought it would be nice to do that and bring y'all along for the ride for sure. So I don't really have any guests tonight. I did that. I thought, oh, I'll do this on my own. I won't bother anybody. But last minute, I was talking to Brent, so he might pop on in a little bit. And I'll probably throw the link out there in the chat. If anybody wants to join me tonight, you're welcome to do so. So let's take a look at who we do have in the chat tonight. Gotta go way up there. I think I saw a grasshopper. Oh, Uncle Bones was first. Hello. It's a hot one today, huh? It is hot outside. It was 8 o'clock outside. It was already hot. Telling you, it's already shorts and t-shirts here now. It's went straight to summer. And then we had Grasshopper. And then they were chit-chatting for a while. Oh, there's Joe, Bigfoot atheist. And Bat Mom. Hello, Bat Mom. Sandra Piper. Glad you're here. Eyes in the Woods. Good to see you. Gary Johnson. Hello. Who else do we have? Angel Nolan. Right in time, right on time. Sharon, John Ayers. Good to see you guys. So happy you're here. Jen is in the house. You want to jump on, Jen? You can jump on. I'm going to throw that link up into the chat. Anybody like to come and join me? You are welcome to do so. Leon, if you're there, you're not busy, want to jump on, you already know what this is about because I kind of gathered some of my buddies to talk about some of these things. So you're welcome to jump on as well. So tonight, my idea was to pick out the best of the best, my opinion of who the best of the best were, and exclude what I call affectionately my boys. Okay. That would be Brent, the tall ones, Joe, Bigfoot atheist, Jeff from Pine Island Research, excluding them from all my choices. Okay. So that's where, you're gonna see who my favorites are after that. And we are going to bring this up here like this. And I thought I was kind of creative with my little promo there. I don't know, you can't really see some of the stuff I had on there, but best of the breast. Oh, it's but I thought I was clever. I have Thomas and Leon and Steve there on the side. And I have Oliver down there. You know about Mom? Uh-oh. Maybe. There may be a section for you. Maybe. You didn't even have to pay me to put you in. So funny. Okay. Okay, let me fix that. So here we go. My top picks. And this, I'm gonna go right to the top, to the head honcho, the number one head kahuna to me in the Bigfoot community. Okay, all over, all around, Bigfoot researcher, Bigfoot investigator, Bigfoot historian. Tell me, if you guys were to pick who that would be for you, who would that be? Your all-time, I bet you a lot of us would agree and are going to agree with this. So in the chat right now, I want to see it because I am going to take notes on who you guys think these tops are. And so I see Eyes in the Woods says Thomas. Leon, Batmom says Leon. Bruce says Thomas Steenberg. Joe says Thomas Steenberg. Alex, we've got a hit. We've got one for Alex. But I think Steve Cole's another great choice. And that's where I am, gonna go with this one for sure. Is my top number one researcher. I'm so happy to call him my friend, is Thomas Steenberg. And you e-biker outlaw, what? Oh, Donald. Yes, it is. It's Thomas. And he does, to me, he does everything right. He does everything, and it seems he's honest and sincere and thorough. I could say thorough. It is a privilege to know him and his style and his forthcoming on how he presents himself to everybody. And he is who he is. And I think I'm going to put that link back in there. He's a great asset to the community, researchers, investigators alike. Okay. He's got it all, and he's got a great area too. So it's a privilege. So that is my number one for Thomas Steenberg. Right. The next one I have is for researchers, okay? Because I do have my top, but there are also some honorable mentions that I think definitely there are in my books that are people that I follow and really love their standard that they put out there. So bring in Brent.
Ooh, what's up? Sorry,
What's
I'm late.
up?
Had
No,
technical
you're okay.
issues.
It was so I asked you last minute. That's my bad. But you're always welcome. But
Yeah, absolutely.
it's so much easier when somebody's here to talk to.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
by
I agree.
yourself. It really is. Let me get rid of that music.
Yeah, especially with a subject like this and a topic like this. And so you got Mr. Thomas Steenberg up there, one of my true heroes in this subject.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I might get a Thomas Steenberg tattoo. I might. I'm like really tempted. Like, would you guys think I'm weird if I did?
Oh Oh gosh.
I might,
That would probably be a
just of
little
like
bit weird.
him with the little pipe and stuff. That'd be cool. Be epic. Won't be any worse than the other stuff I got.
Love him. I still love him and love everything he does about it. And he's just so true. He has his methods and he sticks to them. And that's, I like that consistency. And he's done that for, gosh, I don't know. How long has he been doing this?
Oh, geez, probably about 50 years now, over 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's consistent too throughout his whole career because I've watched a lot of his stuff, especially on the Sasquatch Archives web YouTube channel, which if you guys haven't gone there, you really need to check that out. That's like a no-brainer. But yeah, they got Todd posts a lot of Thomas Steenberg's stuff up there, and man, it's amazing to hear what he has to say and how consistent it is over the years, which is really important in this subject because we need a certain standard to be kept and maintained for all the other people coming into this subject. So it's great that he's able to maintain that level of that we need to be at and just maintain it for so many years in the face of so much opposition, of people always, because I get it too. It's like, oh, well, where's your evidence? You don't have a right to speak up. You've never seen a Bigfoot. So you don't have a right to have an opinion.
I know. And at least you're out there all the time, though. I get that because I don't go out there that often. I may hit the woods a couple of times a year, but it's not in research. It's not looking for Bigfoot. I go out as a pleasure, to camp and to have a good time. But I'm not a researcher and investigator that way. I do my research and stuff online. But I'm pulling from those individuals who say they are, so I don't see, and I'm doing it from many different places.
Well, when somebody uses that line,
we got somebody.
It's coming. Joseph. The man, the myth, the legend.
Hey.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, I'm not turning my camera on. I'm just got dead head and I'm not fit. No, I don't have a lot to say about this. I'm gonna let y'all go on with the show, but I just want to tell Brent, man, the tattoo idea is awesome, dude. But look,
we can all get one.
Yeah, but this is what you do. I think this would be a great tattoo. Is what you mentioned was the tattoo itself for Thomas could be we get a pipe, right? A tattoo of a pipe like he smokes, and out of the pipe, like smoke, are the words "Stick to the facts and never deviate from the facts." Thomas Steenberg.
I like it.
I like that.
That's perfect, man. I'd get that tattoo.
Yeah, I think we should all do it, man. We should all make a pact. By like the end of next month, we should all get this tattoo. I'm willing.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? That would be crazy.
I've thought about it. I'm like, people might think I'm weird because it is kind of weird to get another guy tattooed on you.
Yeah, maybe not his face, but the pipe idea with the smoke coming out and that saying that would be cool.
Less creepy there.
A lot less creepy, for sure. Oh no, that would be
might
crazy.
Surprise you guys with that one.
That is funny. That is so funny. Okay, I was reading the chats over there. Okay, so that's my number one pick, and that looks like a lot of people's number one pick. Curious Cryptid says, so Brent, did you catch that Bigfoot mimicking a tree frog last night? That was really loud frog after all.
Yeah, it was. I was about ready to fist fight that frog. Like literally just wouldn't shut up.
It was
just wouldn't shut
loud.
up.
That
it was, yeah. It was literally like 6 feet from me, but I couldn't find it because literally I was going to go fist fight that guy. And like, come on, bro.
You were going to pick it up and pitch it.
What I should have done is went and grabbed and be like, hey, man, here's your mate. Go hook up and leave us alone. That's what I should have done. Track that bugger down.
Gonna have to come back and talk about how he got his ass whipped by a frog.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd mention that one though.
I can't remember what music I had for this individual. Yeah, I can't find it. What is going on? Where are you? Did I delete it? Did I delete you?
Uh-oh.
I got 2 people just jumped on, but I can't find their music now. I'm so disappointed. Well, here's one. Why is it so low? Dang.
I don't know. Kumbaya.
You hear it, huh?
Where's Leon at? Where's he at?
Hold on.
Where's he at?
We're gonna move it around a little bit. Take this off right here.
There he is.
And okay, now let me bring in. There's got to be an easy way to do all this. Seriously.
I like the chicken one better.
You like the chicken one? Oh, there you go. I found you. Eric.
What's up?
What's
Nice.
up? I like it. Not bad.
You got pushed all the way down to the bottom. Sorry.
I was wondering where I was.
Like, where is he?
What's going on, everybody?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Much good to see you. We're talking about
our favorites.
Yeah, we're talking about all getting Thomas Steenberg tattoos. Are you in?
I already have one. What are you talking about?
What?
Hold on, man.
Shoot.
I can't
It might
show
be
you
good to
where it
get
is,
one.
though.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Don't want to get
We
this
should
stream
get those-
removed.
Get those fake ones where you can put them on. So something like
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
get tattoos because I'm a blood thinner, so it would not be a good scene to have that with all blood around it.
Oh
Kind of
my
thing.
god.
That's a good idea. Fake tattoos.
Yeah, fake
pretty
tattoos
bad.
with that on. Then every conference we could say we're part of the
There you
special
go.
league. Of
Yeah.
special forces
There you
on
go.
our-
Yeah.
We'll just lift up our sleeves. Don't say anything to
Yeah.
each other. We'll just lift up our sleeves and nod and
Yeah.
walk away.
Do the sacred handshake.
Yep.
The Thomas handshake. Hi.
The pipe signal.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm down.
Okay. So, Leon and Eric, do you agree about Thomas on my number 1 pick for top overall researcher for our? Somebody popped in.
Go ahead, Leon. I agree.
Oh, totally. I agree. Thomas saved my sanity. I know Steve just came in here. I was thinking for best educational film, Steve is narration wise the best, I think, from Curious Cryptid. It's too bad he doesn't have time to keep doing more videos up. But yeah, he's got great teaching videos, I think. So educational wise. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
You like that bass guitar music there.
Heavy.
What's up?
What's
Jen,
Hey guys.
how are you?
All right. Just wanted to see what kind of music I would get.
Nice.
It's a long list of music over there. I'm trying to make everybody have their own. So that's where you're at down there. Just in case.
Nick, I want to share with you, Nikki. I am on my new laptop, right? So I tried to type in Hairyman and hoaxers, thinking that your thing's going to come up on YouTube. Just a barrage of Hairyman coming on. I'm thinking,
Oh my god, you got you got all the porn sites.
It's like, holy smokes, what the hell's going on there? So I had to look up on your actual title that you go by and type it exactly in, because if it's not exactly in, YouTube does not recognize it. So which I did, because here I am.
Kind of scary. That's probably why I haven't had that many. Okay, well, we're gonna move on. Anyway, let's move on to my second one, and that is actual researchers, okay, who are doing what I feel is the right type of research, actually with documentation and keeping track and of everything they're doing, videoing, audio, drone. They're doing actual data collection. So I think I picked 3. So these are my top 3 researchers. And remember, I'm leaving you guys out, okay? Brent, Leon, Joe, Jeff are off the clock.
I'm not a researcher.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird.
You guys are, you're always my number 1 picks. I always watch you guys. I watch what you do and I follow you. So I am a little biased to that. I watch you guys and that's what I appreciate. And that's why I follow you guys. But there's other ones that I do follow.
Yeah.
And
well, we need to bring those people up.
I'm a heavy
too.
enthusiast. I'm not a researcher, man. Trust me.
You're an investigator. You're an enthusiast. You still belong. You're quite involved in the community.
I'm a searcher.
You're a searcher.
Well, these are all the people I look up to, Nikki, man. So, hey.
Yeah. So here's my number 1s. And that would be Shane Carpenter. And he did part of the Into the 400. And he's been involved in other things. And doesn't he also have a production company?
I'm not sure, but he is having. I put Randy Harrington up there with Shane too, because they got like a really good partnership going on too. They're having a documentary being done about the area that they're investigating, and that's when they're going to be presenting a lot of their evidence to the public is in that format. So it should be pretty good. Kind of looking forward to it because from everything I'm getting from them and stuff, it seems like they're doing some really good work that could actually raise the bar and get us some answers.
Yeah, for sure. It's very interesting. I mean, there's some things you're not going to agree with everybody, how they do things or what they say, or how sometimes they make things sound like fact when there really isn't stuff to back that. And that's what I have a hard time with a lot of people. But I can appreciate any researcher or investigator that says it could be this, but hey, I don't know. Yeah. It's my opinion that it is leading to this, but I don't know. And I think it's okay for people to say that. It makes me become more invested in what they say and how they do things when somebody can be upfront instead of them saying, hey, we don't see any of this or that, so it's got to be a Bigfoot. There's nothing else. So that's one of my reasons for doing that. And then my second was Derek Randall's, because I've been seeing Derek. He's kind of a little bit off the scene now, but in my younger times in Bigfoot community, it was Derek Randall's was huge in the Olympic Project, and his expeditions or all his little escapades there were kind of epic. They were considered to be really big deals. And same with Kip Morrell there on the West Coast. So they were people that I've always admired, and Kip knows how to go out and just have a good time while he's out there. And he seems like such a funny guy, but is totally invested in the subject and loves what he does, and I know he can get kind of upset when when some people get crazy, with this topic. But I think he's always stayed true to that. Hey, whatever I find, and what I don't. And just going.
Yeah. I've with Kip. Yeah. I with Derek, they've kind of investigated. I haven't really followed them too much because they kind of were doing their stuff before I kind of got into it. And But yeah, with Kip, you know, I see him in like the coalition, and yeah, I love his posts and his humor about the subject and his good naturedness. And I think that he got past that jadedness of the subject and realized what it was, and just now enjoying it for what it is. And you know, he's having fun with it, and that's cool. I don't really know Derek, actually. I don't think I met him or really know too much what he does, which is weird because he's like across the water there a little bit. So
right.
What do you guys think?
Olympic Project made as much impact on as the nobody's research has made a huge impact. So you can put everybody in that list there. Grass. We're all in the same boat. We're all working towards the same goals. And some you're going to try to claim some people are higher on that rung, you know, that ladder than others. But in 50 years, I have not seen anything that has caused great change for evidence or any of that. Eric, do you agree? Do you disagree with that?
No, I agree. I mean, like from what I understand, the Olympic project is ongoing. It hasn't stopped. It's a continuation.
It's never stopped. It's changed people, you know,
sure,
have come and gone.
Yeah, you have to give some, you know, credit for lasting that long. And
right.
You know, as far as the Erickson project came, it was just you know, kind of like a flash in the pan that they were doing more or less like clickbait type stuff, and you know, we saw the results of that. But no, I think the Olympic project is they're doing a great job out there, and it's an ongoing thing. But yeah, I mean, real impact hasn't been established yet. We're still working on that, and they've been doing it for a long time. So you know, kudos to them for doing that.
I think here I was really focused on the individuals, not really the Olympic project.
Sure.
I actually didn't even choose a top group, okay, because I don't really have one. I really
we can add that one in.
Huh?
Oh, we can add that one in. Yeah.
I think I would actually have a hard time picking one group, because there's, like I said, there are people that are mixed in with those groups that I don't see the way they see. Okay, let's just put it that way. That I don't agree with the way they approach things, but I may the other side of the group. So that's why I just wanted to look at this as an individual's, their style, their appreciation, and the things they've done on their own and with the group, that overall these three really, you know, get a vote for me, because I love John Redchun, but he doesn't post anything anymore. He got fed up with the community. You know, he stopped, and he was getting stuff.
Who's that?
John Redchun.
I've never heard of him. Never once.
He's out of the community. He was hot and heavy there for a couple years, and then just said, screw this, and popped out. Now, every now and then he'll give you a teaser video. He's still out there, you know, doing his thing. And he's got some videos of something walking down in the little creek, or what do you call that little dip? That were super interesting. But you know, he felt he didn't have to be ridiculed, because that's what we do. You know, nothing's ever good enough. We're always picking through videos, and I'm the biggest one to do that, you know. So he just said no. Or like Desert Sasquatch. I love that guy. I think he does a great job in explaining what he's doing. He's out there walking his area all the time, but he doesn't post but once every 3 months or so now. You know,
is that the bald-headed guy?
I don't know. He's always wearing a hat, probably.
No. One of those guys, I caught him hoaxing. Can't remember which one.
I don't know. Like it could be. I don't know. Like I don't follow him as much because
Arizona or something.
Somewhere.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there are so many good researchers that come into the field, try to do their best, try to work with the community, collaborate with other people, but it is so hard to do that in this subject, and you know, keep focus of what you kind of want to do. And so it's understandable how people will come into this subject and just bounce right out, kind of like, you know, trajectory that was aborted or something. It's just it's one of the unfortunate things. And sometimes, they'll stay in the subject. Other times, they'll just not see any value in it and just leave. And that's what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
do you think, Leon?
You have a favorite?
No, you're
Leon?
right. I think that's one of the biggest problems is we're losing all the good guns, and they're being replaced by Kookyville. If I'm direct about it, the bottom line is I think of again, Jason Parsons from Bigfoot Tony. I mean, he's a guy that was legit, unlike Thinker who is narrations. And I'm pretty sure he has gotten tired of, again, I'm hoping he's going to come back, but I think I
keep poking him. I was just talking to him a little while ago. I'm trying. I'm like, dude, we need you, man. This was a good one. This is a good reemergence right here, man. Dude. Come on.
Yeah. A few of us have been doing that, right? But again, you could see it's very tiring. Like, again, especially because it's starting. What we're doing is starting to get infiltrating up the system, and the system's starting to react to us. So a lot of these larger pages are, starting to talk about us and what we're like and all this kind of stuff and how we're this and we're that and we're this. And it's like, my God, we're just talking about trying to find the truth about the facts about this thing. And you guys think that we're trying to just bring the whole church down. It's like, it's not about putting the whole church down. The church is already burning. You just don't even see that it's burning yet. This is the problem. You're burning the people who should be staying. Like Thomas, when I talked to him, when I first bumped into him about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I could just tell the guy didn't want to come back in here. And, he's totally correct when he says the inmates had taken over the asylum. Well, no one likes to hear that. But the bottom line, you better look at that because I'm part of the inmates as well. Right? And am I burning down the asylum? Am I burning down people's rights to figure out what's really going on? Because it ain't helping me at all unless my identity is to be the so-called researcher who knows everything. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy in any topic. I'm an educator.
And that's okay. That's okay to be.
To learn. Yeah, and I want to learn. And that's the key part is if you're not flexible about learning anything, then we're going to be, again, outnumbered by dump trucks per person. One person has 5 dump trucks each. We need to switch that down to at least a dump truck to 5 dump trucks of good people out there doing what they need to do. And it's not about having the evidence up like forthright, but it's being honest about not having the evidence forthright. So you don't know. Let's start off from there and start all over. So I'm ecstatically excited. The Bigfoot community is not going to be ecstatically excited about what's coming down the pike in regards to valid evidence proving a lot of sacred cows in the Bigfoot community is being garbage. Oh my God, people are hitting me for saying that. Well, what's he talking? What does he know? All this kind of stuff. I'm going to just take the evidence to, like I've mentioned since day one getting online, is each piece I'm taking out of the little cookie jar I have on the shelf of what's out there in regards to theories about Sasquatch and get the academics to look at it. They'll tell you why. And that's what we have to do. And we're going to have to suck it up, and including myself, if there's a sacred cow that I truly believe in, that I'm going to have to bend the knee to it. Thomas is a great researcher. He would call himself an investigator because I've seen Thomas wrestle with things, but he has bent his knee. I don't know. It makes me hard to figure that one out, but at least he's flexible. And that's what we don't find here. We find everyone's threatened by being flexible about the facts. What facts? What are you talking about? Show us what you've got. It's the evidence we're looking at. We don't care who it comes from, but if you don't think other people are going to dissect your evidence, well, you're just being naive there. If you're making the claim, everyone's going to look at it. So you better make sure you're solid. When I go to Merit on the question and answer panel, they're going to be firing questions like crazy towards me. I need to know my answers. And if I don't know, I don't know. But I need to have response to it, not some fabrication of my brain because I haven't hold an idea true, but no evidence to prove it. That's narration. I'm not doing it anymore. And that's some of these guys here, like Kip and Shane and Derek. Yeah, they're honest, and I'll tell you, it is hard not to feel like you're losing your mind when you have a whole bunch of people from the system looking at you saying, well, you're just a negative Nancy, or you're just this, or, oh, Brent, you should go after all these people. Yeah, okay, well, next time you're getting scabbed by somebody in regards to not Bigfoot, but phone messages from the government, scammers online, scammers on computers, scammers on emails, we'll just ignore those and not tell you, hey, that's a scammer. He's stealing you for money, as you give them $7,000 to be your husband. I'm going to marry you, honey. I know I'm in Africa, but I'm actually an American. Like, who would not want to know this information? Really? I mean, honestly, like, you know, Brent, you're in a different, it's funny because you're still fitting into your suit that you want to fit into online in regards to what you're doing, but you're doing a pretty brilliant job, you know, and that's what it's about. Is
getting there.
Well, you're getting
almost.
What, and it's the
getting practice. The last zipper in. The last zipper is really hard, man.
Hell yeah, totally. Especially
I don't know. yeah. I just
Oh,
can't get that zipper on, but it's getting there.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing too, is there's no patience for anybody who is trying to be skillfully educated about their research. You know, it's like, because of these others, every narration of it's a Sasquatch is a Sasquatch, the attention span for anyone to wanting to figure out, well, can you please, for God's sake, tell us how you know it's a Sasquatch, instead of just saying it's a Sasquatch. Well, my microphone's designed for a Sasquatch. It was made by a Sasquatch. I don't know if you guys do that, but Sasquatch, see, it's actually a blue Yeti. It's a Yeti Sasquatch.
I was wondering why you sounded so good. It was like, Leon sounds pretty good tonight.
He's getting all technical.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So now I'm going to move on to investigations. I did make that, and I put Steve Coles and Matt Larson on there. Now, Matt would probably say, no, I'm just, you know, doing my thing here with my camera and stuff. But he's an investigator, and he wants to get down to the nitty gritty of answers, and his technical camera work makes him a great person for that. Because he knows it's not guesswork for him. You know, he knows what he sees in pictures because that's what he does. And that's what he brings to the table is his, expertise in photography, in that line of work, not Bigfoot, okay, but in camera work. So he's testing his theories in his area, and I think it's the perfect type of investigation for him to do that. And, you know, he has put his foot down that, you know, I'm going to do this for a year, and if I can't find him in a year, then that's that. You know, I don't know if he'll stick to that, but he seems pretty straightforward. He's going to retire. He's going to go move on with his life, and he's going to give it a great go this year, but you know, that's going to be probably it for him. Mm-hmm. And Steve Coles, I mean, he's been around for years and years, and his quality is his standards are just getting higher.
He's like a fine wine.
Yeah. So
gets better with age.
Yes, he's a great researcher as well. He's also this well-rounded person in the field. Okay, but he was my number one for investigators because of his thoroughness.
Yeah, and that's something that we need more education on in this subject for the people boots on the ground investigating, is more technical knowledge of how to actually go about an investigation, how to do it. And we don't know how to do it, and we kind of learn from the wrong people. And so it's good that we have like people like Steve that can give us good points of how to run a solid investigation. So it's not going to be a plagued investigation that's just going to ruin you type of thing. So it's really good. And I also want to put on like Sasquatch Wizard and Adirondacks and so many other people that are doing really good work out there that are systematically approaching it the way that they should, like an actual research project. That's what we kind of need, and documenting it and all this stuff. And I mean, those are great examples for people getting into this subject, or currently in the subject, to kind of mold their investigation around, is those type of tactics, because that's one of the things that we're kind of lacking in it. For
sure. Jen, do you have anybody other than Steve or Matt, that you would put into this category of great investigators? You're muted, dear.
Yeah, I was thinking Wizard. He does a really, he's trying things and doing stuff, and he's documents it really well what he's doing as he's going forward. So watch him the other day. He casted a track. I don't know. It looked like it was in his backyard, and he's just giving stuff a go and doing it on camera and being real transparent about what he's doing. And it's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's very good. That type of honesty is what we need.
No,
I think the other thing too is that people don't show learning. Like that's what we find on channels. Like it's good to practice on stuff. Show people how you practice. Like I always talk about, go, especially at this time of year, go out, take off your socks and your shoes and walk in mud. Walk on earth, walk on sand, walk in the water. And every time you go back there, and then take a picture of it. And then every time you go back in that same area, take a picture to see how that track evolves and shapes. So it teaches you. Show that to people at home. And I get so many comments on my how do you investigate tracks in the snow by excavating it towards it, because most people just go down right to the top, but excavate it towards it. And most people was like, I've never seen that before and stuff. And I thought, yeah, and that's why I show stuff like that, is so that you can learn. And that's like you said, we walk in with a terrible problem of having done a Kruger effect, thinking that we know everything. We have our ideas because I carry my brain around. I've raised 2 kids. Right. I have a company. Yeah, right, great. Can you read a ground? Can you read a track? Can you read energy distribution in a track? Can you know the difference between when you find? I got sent to me pictures from Nick Roskill's Bushcraft yesterday of this tree sent to him by this tree that's just totally shredded and wrapped around itself, and it looks quite unique. Now the next question is, okay, how would you negotiate something like that to look at it? And I haven't sent them this message yet, but the idea is you look at the ground below where the tree is, where it's all twisted. Look at the ends of where it's been twisted at, because if something's twisting it, it has to go like this. If you don't see this, it's not a Sasquatch that's twisted it, because there's no hand marks where the bark should be. Matter of fact, the bark should be impacted by the energy of massive arms shaping and shifting it. If you're seeing this twisted frazzle, if you look at the ground, it's more likely the ground's going to be quite kicked up, because it's more likely a deer has got itself locked in the branches. And that's why it's shredded so much. And that's why it's twisted so much. And if any of you have watched videos of deer being trapped in willows and small trees like that, saplings, you'll see the same outcome again. But it's not shown. That's one of the problems with it, is being less people showing what they're finding with the narration that is actually factual to help educate people, so you're not wasting time. And that's what I think what we're hoping for, a lot more people do. And some of the guys we're talking about, like Matt being pissed right off at me when I told him, go film whatever's making the sound. Boy, it pissed him off, Right. But he did it. He got so pissed off, it went out there and I'm going to show Leon wrong. And I'm pretty sure to him it was a crisis at the beginning, because I wasn't saying Matt was wrong. I was just saying directing him as an educator. Just go film what makes the sound. Okay, well, that makes sense. It makes sense for a Sasquatch too. Yeah. But you better make sure you go practice making a sound of something that you don't know, so you work through that whole spookiness when you think it's a Sasquatch, and then you find out it's not a Sasquatch, so that when it is a Sasquatch, you're not going to be totally freaked out by the time you film the bloody thing as practice, right? So and that's it's just interesting. I'm glad to see what's happening at least what we're trying to do, and I think you guys should be patting yourself on the back on all that. So,
yeah, I agree. I think we have a long way still to go, but that's kind of the way it is. That's just the way it is. And this investigations, Steve and Matt are very high on my list of researchers, investigators. And you might have different ideas out there of somebody else that you think, should also be included in that. And that's okay, because that's what we're about. find somebody you like, okay, and support them, because that's what's needed, is that you need to build up more of that to share, to pass on. Hey, I found this person. You need to start watching them because, you know, they're like-minded. They're like us. So
I would add one.
we
I would add
need
one
to
more.
share that more.
Yeah, I would just add one more part. It's not just find people you like. Find people that you like that know what the hell they're talking about. That's the key part. And then share to get the other people to watch them so that they understand.
Yeah. Something that I want to say though is to the people that's watching this now and in the future, if you see somebody that's not on the list, I recommend you go into the comments section and the person on there, put them in the chat. So, because we might not even know about them. Because I come across people all the time that's like, wow, I never knew this person existed. But like, thank God, you know. And so, yeah, if somebody's not on the list, let's, you know, see about putting them on the list. So put in the comments down below who you guys think of, who you guys would have on this list. And, you know, not like, you know, yeah, it'd just be fun.
I'm a big fan of both Steve and Matt. Steve has debunked, you know, probably uncountable amounts of phony stuff we've seen, and as far as Matt, I mean, Matt's only been in the, you know, the community for a little while, and he's done things I haven't seen yet. Like he did the 3D LiDAR scanning of a print, and I've never seen anyone else do that. He had the little bird call thing, you know, when it would pop up in his videos, so you see what animal made those noises. I mean, I've never seen anyone else do that, you know, so you got to give him props. He's only been in, you know, the community for a little while, but he's doing a really great job. And if he does plan on retiring, I hope he'll be able to, you know, accept people's, you know, data and kind of give his opinion on that. He could remain retired, but, you know, I think that would be, you know, really beneficial for the community if he decided to do something like that. So hopefully, you know, we'll be able to hang on to him for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I was going to say something about Steve, but since he's in the chat, I don't want him to think that I was saying it just because he's in the chat or nothing, you know.
Oh, please.
Just say it.
No, absolutely.
You have a man crush, we know.
Yeah, you're getting a Steve Cole's tattoo. You're getting a Steve Cole's tattoo.
A lot of people might think I'm biased because Steve is a friend of mine. But Steve is look, man, he's an investigator. His background is an investigation. And out of everybody that I know, Steve is one of the first guys that I know actually understand what evidence is. And yes, I'm going to go into the long-winded definition. Evidence is a body of facts that are objectively verifiable and positively indicative of or exclusively concordant with one position or conclusion over any other. And that's what the problem is with a lot of this stuff that I'm seeing, because I don't think, well, and I'm not including anybody here that we're talking about. I think these people understand that. Because I agree with most everything that you put up so far. Those are people that I do tend to watch. I don't get to watch them all the time. I can't, you know, be like 24 hours. What's Derek Randall's doing? What's this guy doing? What's that guy doing? But I do watch them because I give them credence, because I think they're trying to do something the right way. But all this other people on here, man, they don't know what evidence is. Matt Larson, definitely. That man is a wizard with a camera. I wish I knew half as much about camera stuff that he does. And it's sad that if he gives it up, but I understand people got to do what they got to do. But I would love to see him stay in, even in a capacity that Eric said, you know. And the ones that Brent mentioned, I think they deserve to be supported and give a watch to, like Sasquatch, Wizards, Adirondacks, etc. But yeah, man, I mean, I got no, you know, it's just.
Okay, we got to move on. Let's move on. I got a lot on the list. We're only at like 7 and I have like 35. So, Historians. Thomas Steenberg. Of course, I had to put him there again. Henry May. I don't know if any of you know who Henry May is, but he has been around the community for as long as I have, at least. And he's like got this photogenic his mind just remembers dates and names, and he's amazing. If you ever need to, he's agreed to come on my show, so hopefully we'll see him in the near future. Come on and talk about his favorite topics. And that'll be exciting. And Todd Prescott with his Sasquatch archives. Amazing, right?
Awesome.
These were things that I had missed, and now I can go back at my leisure, and I'm watching, one little thing at a time, because some of them are long. They're showing old conferences and Freeman's old conferences and all these, people who are in our history who have been out there for a while. And it just gives you a better insight to how they started and and their journey, because some ended good, some ended not so good, some they're gone. Most of them are gone. So it's the only way for us to know that history. And I really appreciate what Todd Prescott has done by archiving all of that data.
Absolutely. It's such a huge thing for this subject to have that, archived, because this is stuff that was sitting in like Larry Lund's basement, and it's just boxes and old VHS, things, and so it's really, these are real treasures, because you aren't going to find these anywhere else. These are coming from private libraries of people that a lot of these people probably haven't even heard of yet. But yeah, it's like he's way true good guy right there. So then you got Daniel Perez. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that Todd Prescott, it's I wish I would have found the Sasquatch archives the first thing as far as when researching. I think if anyone starts with that, you're on the right path. I'll just say that.
Right.
The stuff on there it's awesome, and that is what a researcher should do. They should archive things in a researchable way, so you can go back, just type stuff and find it. So the way he's doing it is awesome and amazing, and I hope he keeps doing it. It's great for the community.
For sure. As well as Daniel Perez.
Daniel Perez is great too.
He has archived and knows, I think, the most about the P&G film, Bluff Creek area, that a whole scene there,
Well, he knew them all too.
And he knew
Roger
them.
Patterson.
Yeah.
He hung out with them. Oh my God. You want to watch one of the best scenes in YouTube Bigfoot history? Go watch when Renee DeHenden was heckling Grover Krantz at a conference, and Daniel Perez having to navigate that, because he was the MC there, and it's like trying to get Renee off of Grover. It was hilarious.
From what I understand, Daniel still sends out a paper newsletter.
He does. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I just subscribed to the Bigfoot report,
Bigfoot Times.
Bigfoot Times. Yes, the Bigfoot Times. So I should be getting my new one in May. I think I should get one in May. So
awesome.
I can't wait to start sharing that info, and maybe I can drum up some more people for him. It's only like $21 for a year. Yeah. So
it's awesome.
No, I mean, this is good, because in this subject, you really need to know the history of what's going on, so you can better be in the present, so you can better affect the future, because, what we're doing now is going to, echo going forward, and they're going to be the ones that are judging us. And so we need to make sure that we're doing everything the right way. And one of the ways of knowing that is by knowing what is the right way, and who can help keep that there, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you, Uncle Ben.
It's also important that there's somebody is doing I gotta make sure you say the right word, depository, not suppository, of all the data of history, right? Because then researchers investigators can go and check it out.
Yes,
So it's available, and you know the source and the history about this whole thing, instead of just coming online, listening to the narration, which is starting today, or
starting with Colorado Bigfoot or something.
Yeah, like that. You know, the people we tell people. And that's the amazing part of it too. Is honestly, if we would have ran into these people, Brent, at the very beginning, man, we would have saved us so much of
we would have been like Matt.
Yeah.
Your conversation, Leon, your conversation with Matt and how you challenged him took years off his learning curve, literally years off of it. The way he was able to be elastic with his thought process, and sure, he was a little upset. And that's what I tell people. Some people might be upset when, you're challenging them. Just give them a little space and let it process and everything. But Matt is an excellent example of just that right there.
Yeah, it's called flexibility, which is a basic power you're supposed to have when you're born, is you're allowed to be flexible. That's about learning. And learning, it means, and everything you've learned has been through a mistake. You haven't learned anything except your own personal mistake, or watching other people make mistakes, saying, hey, that's stupid. I ain't going to jump off that rock, into that water. That guy just looks like he's dead down there now. And the nice thing about Matt, too, and I'll say this, I've said this to Matt, too, is when I first saw Matt come on in the world on the online site, I thought to myself immediately, I recognized his personality. I knew he would struggle with it, but I know that his moral compass, ethical compass was solid. And most people, when you confront anybody, it's not during the confrontation where they're going to reflect on it. It's after the conversation. Most of us will change your position after the conversation of the information. And that's what I'm hoping for again when I'm up in Merritt, is I can't change everyone's mind there, but boy, I can put stuff in their thought process that's now stuck there, because the brain's like a sponge. And if you hear anything, it gets stuck in there. And when that data is needed, it comes to the surface in that person's brain, where they ask themselves, stick to the facts, don't deviate from the facts. As Thomas said to me when I was doing that whole moneymaker thing, here you have a big superstar, the bad moneymaker, all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to have to reveal to everybody, this guy's full of crap. He doesn't know what he's talking about, at least in this incident. Not only that, he's not respecting the witnesses that live in a small town that everyone's going to say, those are the guys who thought that they saw a Sasquatch and it was moose tracks. That's why I don't really show that video too much, because I don't want them to feel that stupidity that Matt put them under, of exposing them instead of keep protecting their dignity. That's not what we're supposed to do as researchers. We're supposed to respect people's safety.
I think a better word is exploiting. He exploited them.
No, totally. That's exactly what it is, right? And of course, if you were to say that, I can't believe you guys are talking mean to anybody. We're not talking mean to anybody. That's their actions.
Well, yeah, it's like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? They're doing it.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, sometimes just need room.
Sorry, Brent, we have to be quiet.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We got to move on, guys.
We got to
move on. Documentarians. And I've got
kind of weird.
Alex,
kind of awkward.
He does his small town monsters, and his Alaskan coastal Bigfoot or Sasquatch was amazing, I thought. Eric Palacios just happens to be here.
It's a shock.
But he's in the in-group. Yeah. There you go, Eric.
And Justin Chernopinski with Mountain Beast Mysteries.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I want to point out for Justin is that Justin was the first one who came online with good quality documentary.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one who kind of introduced that visual to us. And that's why it really took off. And then I'll get to you in a minute, Eric, even though you're part of this, we're not allowed to vote for you. But the nice thing about Alex, when he comes down here, the first thing I would say to him, in case he's watching this too, but I hope he isn't, so I can say to him, I am so proud, like with you, Brent, too. It's like, I'm so proud of how you guys are growing. Because Alex, at the very beginning of his journey, it's the same with Justin. We talked behind the scenes kind of thing. And I'll tell you, this is exactly what you want. What's he got there, Thomas?
Still needs to have Thomas introduce him to John Kirk. Leon still needs to have Thomas introduce him to. Put a timer. What? Put a timer on each category. I might have to put a timer. We're never going to get through all these. So anyway, Eric, great job.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Keep it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Alex, I think Alex is an amazing filmmaker, and he's straight down the middle. He doesn't really lean one way or another. He just shows you the data and what they're filming out there. And that's I kind of feel like I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm not leaning any which direction. I'm just showing you guys, hey, this is out there. Make up your own minds. And what Leon said, Justin's stuff is just, the cinematography is amazing. It's hard not to watch the whole documentary just because it's beautifully filmed.
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
The music, everyone, documentaries are hard to make. They're really hard to make, especially if you're doing it on a low budget. The sound, the shots, it's really hard to film yourself out there. So props to Justin for doing that. It's not an easy job at all.
Mm-hmm. And with Alex, I don't know, we really hit it off, and he's somebody who's very approachable. And at any time I feel like I can text him and say, hey, ask him a question about anything, because I know he has a lot of connections. And even to the point where I texted him and he texted me back, and he goes, you're never going to believe where I'm at right now. He just happened to be there in the swamps there in Louisiana. And, he sent me a picture of him right there in the boat in the water. And I'm like, whoa, okay, you're busy. I'll let you go now,
He seems like a nice guy, a really nice guy.
He will always respond to me. And I appreciate that. He's very down to earth, and I like him.
Well, the nice thing about all three of these guys, including Eric, sorry, Joe, I'll let you talk here in a sec, is that's what I'm talking about. You can find personalities that are interested in the topic, and they know you are interested, and you're legitly, honestly fair. So I have no problem. If I get a text from somebody who is, we won't talk about the negative people, I'm not going to respond back to them because I don't have the energy to discharge that direction, but I certainly have the time for Justin and Alex and Eric. We still have to do the gambling game, by the way, Eric. And that's your personalities, and that's what's so good. Yeah. We do a lot of dialogue behind the scenes in our own private chats that we do with each other and stuff, and phone calls and stuff like that. And it's because we trust those people. They don't have it all together. They don't have all the answers, but we know they're doing it from a trusting heart, and they're not trying to hoodwink anybody. They don't have any time for any of that stuff, man. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Back to you.
These are the future historians of the subject, so it's it's in good hands with these three right here.
Yes, yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Joe, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, hey, no, just real quick, Alex, all respect, man's awesome with what he's doing out there, and he's got the strongest beard game in all of Squatch.
Yeah.
And
he does.
As far as Justin, I've been following Justin for many years, and I'll tell you, the thing that really resonates with me with Justin was one video that I saw that guaranteed that I was like, all right, I'm this guy is actually trying to be real out there. And it was one where he debunked something that himself, and he could have easily gone the way of other people, be like, oh yeah, this has to be Bigfoot, and it had to do with some of the tree stuff. And long story short, he came down to figuring out that it was actually a freaking avalanche which caused all this damage that other people have been like, oh, it's Bigfoot. And when I saw him go through that logically and figure out everything instead of just like, I can't explain this, must be Bigfoot, I went, that's the dude, man. That dude I'm going to watch. And, I mean, the story with Eric is very similar. I started keeping an eye on Eric's stuff when I first watched the Hairyman stuff, and I went, this dude really seems like he's just going wherever it takes him, not making any presuppositions, and that's the important part.
Cool. Great. Okay. Next, best Bigfoot TV personalities.
Ooh.
Now, I always watched any of these Bigfoot shows that come on. $10 million Bigfoot bounty, Finding Bigfoot, Expedition, as entertainment. Okay, I always did that. So I really wasn't invested on watching that for any type of real information that made a difference to our community. It was just fun for me, and I always did do that. So, I mean, Bobo and Cliff were always on the top of my list because I loved to hear them talk. They made me laugh. Cliff was always so factual and, wanting to get answers and seemed genuine. And people had told me he was a nice guy. And so, I kind of played into that. Not, of course, with Moneymaker at all. There's some that you just won't get attached to watching. But I have to say that I did like to watch Bobo and Cliff, and I even did after shows after the Finding Bigfoot. We had a podcast where we would critique the show afterwards.
Nice.
So
is that still up?
I don't know. It's probably not up anymore.
I kind of want to watch that.
Yeah, it was actually me and Henry May and Shane Bradbury used to do that. And sometimes Daniel was on there too. But yeah, it was fun. That was early days.
Well, Nikki, when people tell you about Cliff being a nice guy and all that other stuff, I can back that up. I mean, I met him, and he even acquiesced to an interview, and it was a very awkward interview since it was the first person like in the Bigfoot world that I've ever interviewed. But yeah, he's a nice guy, and for TV personality, I agree. I like Cliff a lot, and realistically, I give it to the man. He's had more experience with Bigfoot casts and stuff than I have. That's a guarantee. So, the man's got some knowledge that's what I respect him. And Bobo, same way, man.
Mm-hmm.
The same reason for you. Bobo made me laugh. He just seemed like I don't know. I've never met him.
Does anybody else have anybody out in the TV world that they love to see when they come on?
I do.
Uh-oh.
I got one. Russ Accord. Why? Because his backpack. I think he hides that Bryce dude in his backpack and like takes him around. And it took Russ 3 days to hike up a mountain that a girl did in flip flops in 30 minutes. So he's my number one guy.
He's got a lot of shirtless. He's got a lot of shirtless pics on his social media. It's yeah.
I haven't gone that far of a deep dive, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, you just see his profile picture.
Yeah, I met Cliff too. Cliff is a nice guy. Yeah.
He's short. He's short. He walked by me and I'm like, oh, that's Cliff. I'm like, oh, damn, he's like short. Of course, everybody's short to me.
Okay, what is short? What is short?
He's only like 2 inches taller. He's only 2-3 inches taller than I am.
Because you're going to be in shock when you see me in July.
Yeah. Well, I'm 6'2". So.
You're going to be like, is that Nikki?
Where are you? Oh, Nikki's kids are here.
She's way down there.
I'd say Cliff is what, about 5'8", 5'9"-ish? He's under 6. He's not a big guy.
Like, he was little. I'm like, whoa. Not that bad. Yeah, he's cool. He's a very, very nice guy. He's a good steward for the subject. He represents the subject well. He's great, awesome. Bobo, a little overzealous with his conclusions and stuff, but still, people love him and stuff. I actually didn't really watch.
It was a party, Matt, and you missed it. I have to go back real quick. Look at that. Wait.
We talk so much trash about you.
You see that picture there, Matt? I picked your best picture.
Yeah, I can't figure out how you got him in his Girl Scout outfit. That's interesting.
Well, he was playing Girl Scout leader that day.
Yeah.
Matt, I picked you as one of my favorite investigators in the subject, along with Steve Coles.
Yep, 100%.
I think you got what it takes. I know this is not a full-time gig for you, but we appreciate you, and we love everything you're doing, and we support you, and we hope you keep on going.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
He said that's his Rough Rider outfit.
It's good. It's good. So, okay, we got to move on. I got a lot to go. So here is my Bigfoot research podcast channels. Okay. And these are researchers who show their stuff right online. And you guys kept saying Sasquatch Wizard, and I agree. I love what he's doing, but I put him into this category because I only did start watching him for maybe a year ago. And but Jonathan is great. I love how he experienced. Oh, let me get that out of your face there, Leon. I can just see his face like up here. Anyway, yeah. How every time he's out doing stuff, he's like exploring and learning, and you can see the learning happening, and that's like taking me along for the ride. Okay, that's what I feel like is I'm there with them and doing that. So I appreciate that, and I think he is also here in the chat as well. So Jonathan, thank you for all your hard work. I also picked Bigfoot and more, David Wilbanks. I think it's Wilbanks, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I put it on there, and then this morning I went, is that his real last name?
Yeah.
I'm blanking out. I love his channel, how he talks to people, the respect he has for the subject. I think it's great. It's a great show, and he's got a lot of followers, and I can tell that people respect how he approaches the subject. And I do love Sawdust Beast. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but I still think he's got great attitude, friendly, and he's quite appealing, to the subject overall. So I put Mark on there. And of course, I had to put Squatching Cowboy for his no nonsense squatching. Yes. And he still knows how to have fun. Yeah. He still loves to have his little videos and stuff. And I think that's a breath of fresh air. And so I put Joe on there too. Joe passed. Anybody else to add to that list?
I think of Brian.
Sasquatch
Brian
Odyssey.
Oh, or who?
Yeah, Sasquatch Odyssey. Yeah. I think the good thing about Brian is he's at the early stage of beginning to navigate through this. It'll be interesting to watch him in about 5 years and see where he ends up going. But he gets the right to do that. That's a learning curve that he gets to do and stuff. But I think he's
well. I have him in the next one. So
okay, that's what I that's I want to be cautious. So,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the next one is Encounter Podcasts. I separated them.
Good category.
Okay, because to me, they're very different. And I find it hard to watch Encounter podcasts because they all sound the same to me. And, it's just I've moved on from that. But these are ones that I have always held. I subscribe and I fall back to them whenever there's absolutely nothing on, or maybe at night before I'm going to bed and I throw them on, my earphones and listen into the night. But Will Starr, Monsters and Mysteries, he's got a great thing going there where he's taking you, like he takes you there, because he goes onto the map and shows you what he's talking about and where he's talking about. I kind of like that. I think it's a great take on what? I'm sorry, so I got distracted over there. great take on how to explain where things are going and, you know, where things happen. And I hadn't seen anybody really do that before.
Yeah, he's really good on the visuals.
Yeah.
That.
And I like that. And you guys know me. I'm a visual person too. You know, I have right now, what did I have? Over 40 slides right now. So, and we're already more than halfway through. So, Weird Encounters with Brian King Sharp. I added him on there because I really love his questioning and how he questions and how he can get personal into their way of getting into the subject. I like how he has those skills. I guess that's because he used to be a police officer. So, you know, he knows how to talk to people and get information. So I like that. And I did put Vic Cundiff on there because he's got a cool voice, pretty much a cool voice.
I liked when I first got into this, I was a huge Vic Cundiff. I haven't heard him in years though, but man, yeah, I love that show. The way he does things, I like it a lot.
His Bigfoot Eyewitness Radio, it's been around a while and
forever.
It's still good. It's still good. You know, he's just got that soothing voice. And of course, y'all met Matt Knapp from Bigfoot Crossroads on one of my shows a couple weeks ago. Great guy, good questioning. And to me, he's just down to earth too, honest guy. And I tend to gravitate towards that type of questioning. So they were my top encounter podcasts. And I know some of you I'm sure a lot of you see Cryptids Canada. She does a great job too. But, you know, I was only picking my top 2 or 3, and I couldn't even do that. I had to pick, you know, 5 here. So
you should create a category for fake encounter podcasts, and you can put Sasquatch Chronicles right there in their own little thing, their own little section.
You could put a lot there, actually. I'm
Probably
sure.
could.
But I'm trying to stay positive. You know, I do have some things that I'm going to be talking about at near the end. The hoaxes, of course, because that's my channel. But, you know, I want to stay as much positive in this regards to these as I can. And did anybody have anybody else that they'd like to add to the Encounter podcast?
Well,
anybody out in the chat?
Well, seeing you put Cryptids Canon in there. Is she encounter or is she a story?
Is it? I don't know.
Cryptid what? Canada?
Is she?
Cryptids Canada. Leslie reads stories.
Are they her stories? Did she make them up or did people submit them?
Submit them. Jay sent one to her.
So they're probably people's encounters, but there's no way to vet those. Just like all the other encounter stories, there's no vetting. You're just taking them for what it's worth. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're putting her in that category of this, I would say Buckeye Bigfoot as well. She does a good job.
I've never saw Buckeye Bigfoot.
I would say, and I forget the actual name of the podcast. I hope she forgives me. But Sibylla Irwin, she interested me. I had her on my show. She's a fabulous sketch artist. I mean, she does a beautiful job, and the way she interviews people about their encounters, that kind of interests me. So I would kind of put that on a list for me podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if any of the guys down there want to hop up here and take my spot, my phone's going to drop out and this cord isn't working. So,
okay. I still have some spots here. So
yeah, I thought I had the other cord that worked, and this cord is not working. My phone is just steadily dropping. So
I will put the link back into the chat if anybody does want to come. So anytime you do want to pop off, Jen, we love you. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to move on. Top conventions. Now, I have only been to the ECBRO Bigfoot convention, and I loved it. And I know that it doesn't even have to be a big convention, and I would love it. if it was just a little Bigfoot festival, I would love it. I love to go to my flea market, and I can spend 2 hours talking to every single person in every booth. So that's just my, I like that. I'm social butterfly like that when it comes to things. So I've always wanted to go to the Ohio Bigfoot Conference just because of its magnitude and how many big, if you want to say top people go there just so that I could meet them.
May 6th this year. I might go out there and just hang out with BF Bud and Angie, and I don't know if the Trackways are going.
They just had something there at Salt Fork, camp out.
Yeah, May 6th is going to be Salt Fork. Yeah, that's the Bigfoot conference.
Had some eyewitness stuff going on there. I don't know. Somebody saw something there this last weekend. So who knows? And Beachfoot on the West Coast is a real big thing, but I think it's by invitation only. I don't know if I'm correct by saying that.
They sell tickets.
They do sell tickets for that.
Yeah. They it's a lot of it is invite, it's an invite thing, but I think it's they, like the last couple of years they had tickets because I guess not enough people are going.
Well, now Grasshopper's saying it is invite only, but because that's what I heard. But I think you could probably, I don't know, but I've always wanted to go there. It's changed from the first time it started to now. The people who are going there aren't really my style. So, you also have to watch for that. A lot of conventions have become very woo-ish, if you want to, say that. They believe in the whole magical paranormal side of Bigfoot, and they really gear towards that during their conferences. I talk to Bigfoot, he comes to my bedroom every night, all that stuff. I don't go there. So
yeah, my invitation for Beachfoot, I guess, has been lost for the last many years because I have not been invited.
Is that in California? Is that in California or what state's that?
I think it's in Oregon.
Yeah, it's
I think it's Todd Neese's thing that he's putting on. But conferences are great, but like you were talking about, Nikki, they are expanding into something more than just Bigfoot because it's a business now. It's not just a conference for information.
For sure.
It's a conference for monetization, and that's that's something that is just going to be a part of the subject. Once I dropped $600 at a Star Trek convention to go get autographs with all the TNG people. So it's like we all do weird stuff and like that, so. A lot of the people who go to those conferences, you'll notice they're not like us. They're kind of casually into the subject, maybe watch the Finding Bigfoots and still at that stage. And I think those are the ones that really enjoy these conferences, which are great because it is a good festival and it celebrates the subject. Some are more monetized than others. I like the Squatch Fest because that's more of a festival because they have a bunch of stuff that goes on there. The City of Commerce, I think, puts it on and does as a part of it, and so they have all these other things for like kids to do, and it celebrates the subject, and it's not just a conference of those speakers up there, and you have these tables here, and so it's all what you want out of it, I guess. If we went to a conference, it might not be as valuable because we probably don't know all the people and already know all the information and probably already debunked them all or most of them or whatever, So.
Yeah, they're saying the Salt Fork thing this year, they put it up as a Bigfoot flea market. I guess that's part of it every year, and all that's free. Nice. You have to pay for that. You just have to pay for the speakers.
That's great. And there's nothing wrong with monetizing the subject just as long as it's in an honest way. If you're being deceitful and manipulating and doing wrong, you should not be monetizing this subject, exploiting it. But if you are out there selling stuff, trinkets, whatever, that's awesome. Do it. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people who want that.
Unless you say for entertainment purposes only at the beginning. Yeah. I'm going to hammer that one
for
at
sure.
the conference I'm at.
Okay, ding, ding. Time to move on.
Okay, all right, next. My
Oh,
top
sorry.
hoaxer, of course, is going to be Rick Dyer for his 2008 Georgia and the Bigfoot, North Georgia Bigfoot in the freezer hoax, and his. Oh look, I put 2912. Whoa, I jumped into the future.
Yeah.
2012 to 2014 Bigfoot tour with Hank. So he had to take the spot, for top hoaxer. He's admitted it. He doesn't care. He wanted the money and he took advantage of a lot of people and really could care less about that.
Yep.
So he had to take that top spot as my number one hoaxer and hoax with all his many hoaxes. Remember, he's done 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 now, 6 hoaxes. You guys really only hear about the 2, but there was many. Okay, the tent video, the baby Bigfoot, the Bigfoot that was sitting propped up on the tree that had a haircut like Dorothy Hamill.
You can see that one.
So he had to take that spot, but that's all.
Well, the good thing is he admits it, so it gives people a good example of like, yeah, these people are out there in the subject, and look how they will have no problem taking your money and laugh at you while they do it. So it's a good choice.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of hoodwinkers out there. So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that as well. So, but I am going to show you my top video hoaxes. And I didn't actually pull up their videos because you guys are already seen these. Okay. So my number one is Creature from the Giant Sequoias. It spurred on so many people pulling frames of that student film by Sean Bannon. It was a student film. Okay. They pulled out these pictures and then they claimed it as their own. This is from over here in Georgia. This is from Kentucky. It's not. It's all from the same film. Okay. All these are just screenshots from that film. And people just love it. Even though the film shows 3 different times of the day. I don't know if any of you have ever noticed that the lighting in the video is opposite what it should be. From like morning to night, it's actually late evening, and then all of a sudden it's in the day. So you can tell it's a total, it's all messed up. But anyway, all these photos right here, people plug and say, "What? This is the best best photo ever."
You want to know what a common thing with all these photos are? You guys want to know? They were all on the RMSO website as being real. So, probably, likely.
So, there you go. That's my number. God, this is the one that got me to start doing my podcast. Is this right here, because I'm so tired of seeing this one. Next, Mark Anders. People.
Keeps popping
it's a
up.
Bigfoot statue, and he is a CGI expert. Okay, if he still has his YouTube channel up, go look at it. Mark Anders. He shows you how he messes with CGI. He has pictures of faces of chimps and how he can distort them and move them around. And you never see all his Bigfoot only move 2 or 3 steps. It would only move and then it would stop on all those clips. Okay. It was one Bigfoot and all those things that he manipulated and could move. Even if it was, I don't have proof that it was just a statue. It could be a suit and him in that. But I have a feeling it's not. Just based off of his channel and how all of his promos, all his pictures are situated.
Yeah. I mean, it's a business for him.
Oh yeah. Bye, Jen.
I'll see you later. Yeah,
Bye,
but
guys.
you know it should be a red flag that one person is getting all this evidence. That should be a huge red flag.
That's a good point.
Right. Well, it's not his evidence. He played it off as he was just a radio podcaster, and people were submitting their videos to him, and then he was putting it on like a radio show. So he never said it they were his in every single one of his things, but it was all the same, you know, Bigfoot in New Mexico, Bigfoot in Texas, Bigfoot in San Diego, Bigfoot in Kentucky, but it was all the same. It's all the same.
Yeah, it seems like it, you know, he monetized it, and he probably had people working with him to monetize it in a way of getting it in different locations, getting different suits or different technology, and you know, it's blatant, as they would say.
Right.
Blatant.
So he was my number 2 because his things still pop up too.
Yeah.
Was a number 2.
And my other one was the Beacon Bigfoot hoax, which was a big old thing done by Ron English. And he is a urban artist. They call him the godfather of street art. And he created this film. I have a feeling, I don't have proof, but it was a project for his son, because there's a boy at the beginning of this little film who's narrating all this stuff happening with Bigfoot. Okay. If you go back and you watch the Beacon Bigfoot movie or the film, and I think it's his son is what I think, because the names match up and everything. But it's all a hoax. And then later on, I found where Ron had a display of some of his artwork, and in that were the figures of the Bigfoots, which you can see the pictures on there. There were that lady's taking it next to him, and then in another display, there's all 3 and the baby. So, but people believed in that too. They believed in the little Chaka Bigfoot, you know, the little one that runs, that looks like it's running around. They're just all little statues, but they make them look like they're running, you know. So you think that there's movement there, but there's not. They were just all photos. And actually, I do have these are from the show I did on some of the these are all associated with Beacon Bigfoot. There's Ron English. There's some of the artwork he does. That's the type of artwork he does. And he's quite famous in this. It's called Propaganda is the branding that he did. And the people who buy this, you know, type of art, Propaganda. So, yeah, that's that. Oops. Now we get to my top photo hoaxes. The Yeti de Bourganeuf of 97. This was completely created. Okay. This is not a real Bigfoot or Yeti. I'm way behind over here. More information about Mark Anders. It was actually created and first seen in 97 in the Bourganeuf, France. And it was created by a group called APPAR, which is a cryptozoologic group there in France. And it's kind of hard to read the thing because it was in French and you had to translate it. So, but it was a man by the name of Emmanuel Castells, who was an animal sculptor and a collaborator from a magazine that, let me skip. Decided to make a giant copy of Bernard Hoovelman's Frozen Man. It was sculpture was made out of sponge rubber on which hairs of horsetail had been pasted. The eyes have been simply bought from a provider specialized in taxidermy. So it's just a make-up thing that they were trying to do for sideshow. Pretty much just a sideshow, exactly like the Minnesota Iceman had been done.
Groovy.
I'll tell you, she's a ferret, eh? Nikki's totally a ferret. That, by the way, thanks for the email on that breakdown of that video I sent you. That was way overkill, but I really appreciated the amount of work you put into it. 47 videos you did. Holy smokes. 48, I think.
You're welcome. The Ivan Marks photo of 1977. So this was, it's still photograph generated. The one in the bottom left was from a 16 millimeter film footage, and it was hoaxed by Ivan Marks and his widow, Maggie Marks, in 77. And they had made comments and found out, that was her in a suit.
It actually looks like some crappy AI, honestly.
It does, right?
Images, yeah.
But it's been around for a while though.
Yeah.
But all these right here were associated with the Ivan Marks photos from 78, 79, 76, 77, and 78.
And this is where Tom Steenberg coined the Ivan Marks syndrome.
Yeah.
For these pictures right here, folks.
The bottom left corner looks like the guy off of Goonies, the big giant.
His ears, yeah. His
ears.
Oh, hey, I need that
soundbite.
Soundbite. Yeah. That's a good one. So here's an oldie but goodie. I have this on my promo for the show. The old Hunter hoax photo. And I still don't have a ton of information about this one. Like when it was first discovered, it just came up that there was somebody who knew of the old photo and started putting the two together. So, but it shows you how people can manipulate things, even now. This has already been 10 years old. So, it shows how Photoshop, think about how it is back then, now how it is.
Yeah, well, this is a really important picture, these two right here, because it's a great example of why we should be mindful about the information that we come across and why we should really vet it out, because it might not be what it is on surface value there.
Right. And the same with this next photo, the dead Bigfoot hanging in the tree photo. It was the same thing, but this one happened in 2006. I have a little bit more information about this one. And actually, Lauren Coleman is the one who discovered, was able to get a hold of the other photo of the bear in the photo. And that was back in 2009. Or wait, yeah. Let me see. Lauren Coleman on Cryptomundo had more information in April of 2009. But a reader in 2006 received wait, how does that read? Who claimed to have found it online, and Craig Woolleader posted it on Cryptomundo in 2006.
I wonder if it's the same graphic artist who made the previous picture made this one here.
Could be. That could be.
Could be.
It's the same old style.
It is the same style. It doesn't say anything else.
So maybe Craig, if he talked to the original person who said he had the source of it, probably some more information that way, but
copy. There's a name here that he had contacted Captianimo. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense, actually, that whole article. But it's a favorite of mine because there's still people who will just find the Bigfoot hanging one and don't know that there's another one.
Yeah.
And this is the Dale photo. So they actually found the artist, Dale O'Dell, in Arizona and made a statement saying that this was an illustration.
Yeah.
And he had never intended to publish it or present it as real. It wasn't a hoax. It's pretty much got taken from other people and then, posted around. So he made the image in 2008, and he actually has a copyright to that photo, a registered copyright to that photo. And out of the UK based stock photo agency. Oh, Alamy. So, and that was back in 2015 when he came forward with it. 2008 when he created it.
But Nick,
you
can see the muscles in the foreleg, and look at the calf on it. It's got to be real. It
looks like a watercoloring.
I just can't get over the photographer's name, Dale O'Dell. I mean,
Dale O'Dell.
It's a tough one. Dell. Hey, Dell. If you leave, you probably have to put in the O because it'll be like, yeah, my name's Dell.
Okay, next.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Antonio Barbagallo photo. The Antonio Barbagallo photo. So this one was made by Antonio Barbagallo Studios. He created a photo for a series of commercial advertisements, and he was commissioned to actually make photos of Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, flying saucers, and through a photographic process to give the photos a grainy, high contrast look. I had all the props made by a professional model builder. I hired a special effects makeup artist and traveled to the appropriate locations to shoot. The photos were used nationwide. I think I made the photos in the early 90s. And that is Tony Barbagallo on Photography Inc. So that's actually from his text back in 21. When was this?
You couldn't even take a color photo? It had to be black and white.
Well, that was going to make it more legit, right? The more you make it look old.
I guess so.
I always thought the foot looked weird, but I don't know. So my top hoodwinkers: Mark Zasky, Christopher Noel, and Thinker Thunker. Say I'm wrong, people. Say I'm wrong.
Some people will.
On the money.
Because some people will, but
those opinions
highly
don't matter.
disagree. I would highly disagree. And we all know the reasons why. Okay. And I'll tell you my reasons, and they are my opinion. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But I don't think one photo that I've seen of Mark Zasky shows anything but pareidolia and manipulation. Christopher Noel has constantly tried to steer the whole conversation into what he's seeing instead of what is really there, and isn't willing to step back and see the real picture. I mean, it was a porcupine, and all he had to do was say, okay, maybe it was a porcupine. That is all he had to say. Thinker Thunker, we all know I have history with him. It was short history, people. It wasn't some big blown out thing. It was one comment on one of his videos, and that was the end of it. He made it disappear. It doesn't even exist anymore, and I moved on. But I knew what kind of man he was and how he was going to run his program. So I moved on from that. And that was the end of that. And a lot of people know that over the years, because this was a long time ago, okay? And like 8 or 9 years ago. So things change. And I never paid attention to any of the work he's done after that. But, you know, here he comes. Everybody's seeing what's going on. So that's where I am with that.
Yeah.
Anybody have anybody else to add to the hoodwinkers?
I agree
Well,
with that.
I'll just add the thunker thing too. That was a huge disappointment because I enjoyed watching when I first got online and stuff and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the biggest thing was that Donald,
biggest grifter. You need a grifter site or grifter section.
The whole thing with the last one that Jason from Bigfoot Tony did on him, where he showed that whole old man and how Thinker took that video and made it sound like he was, or made it look like, oh, it's a Sasquatch. And I just thought, you know, another disappointment again. You know, that's the thing about this whole thing. It's just, you're hoping. You look at it. It looks really decent, and then you got somebody who's qualified to really assess it, even though it's the same person or a different person who's saying he's qualified to do it, but the other person does the wise part of showing you how he knows it is, and then you can obviously see what he's talking about. And I can see why Jason would be so frustrated. And again, how can you stay on pretending? You can't. So,
I would put on my good buddy Wes Germer, only because he's one of the biggest influencers in the subject's probably history, and he's influencing it to this very day, influencing investigators and all that stuff. And I don't think people really realize the ramifications of his show and what he's doing, and how negative of a black spot it is on this subject, because it was spawned from a hoax. I mean, Sasquatch Chronicles spawned from a hoax, and it's one of Bigfooting's biggest influencers, and that's ironic, isn't it? Isn't that ironic in a way that the biggest influencer is a hoaxer? It just sucks, but you know.
I was going to talk to you too, because I think I found some article about a photo that Wes hoaxed.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about the photo, but I know about how he promoted Bob Garrett and the Bob Garrett hoax, and because I think that they were trying to do a field version of Sasquatch Chronicles down in Texas, and they partnered up with Bob Garrett, and Bob Garrett just, you know, screwed that part of it up. How Vault Keeper screwed up the whole part with DW, how he screwed up that whole trail cam thing and that whole thing. That's what Bob Garrett did to the whole Sasquatch Chronicles boots on the ground, because Wes was promoting Bob Garrett's audio, even though it was debunked, you know. So it's like, you know, it's disappointing that the Bigfoot community doesn't hold Wes Germer to a higher standard, and, you know, really, you know, confront him about that, because it's such a disservice to it. It's a slap in all of our faces, especially if, you know, we cite them as sources.
Yeah, again, all you have to do is for entertainment purposes only. Isn't that hard? It covers your ass for all of this.
Well, it leads up to a bigger question, because Sasquatch Chronicles is spawned from a hoax, but they are also charging people money per month. So we are now getting into a financial liability of what's going on with something that's presenting false information. I don't know the legality of it, because Bigfoot's still not proven real. So they could probably get away with it. And I mean, I don't know how that whole thing would go, but if I was paying money for years on end, which I've known people who have, they were pissed when I told them about the whole Sasquatch Chronicles. It's like, because they put all that money towards a belief in somebody that they believed in, only to find out it was most all of it's fake. They do have real people on there.
I might
most of it's fake.
I might include, you know, Todd Standing in there, just for the fact that my opinion is he uses it for a lot of things, including women. Like the last 5 years, like all his ex-girlfriends have been someone he's met due to Bigfooting, because someone coming out and having a expedition with him, and
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, he gets kind of romantic with them. So I don't know.
Oh gosh, we're moving on from that one. Top controversial figures: M.K. Davis for the massacre theory, Steve Isdall for his
for him.
let's say,
For Steve Isdall. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you know, we've all heard him call people names like he's a little fifth grader or something.
Jeff
you know,
Meldom. It's Jeff Meldom.
Yeah, that's just not cool the way he did that. So, but that was something constant, and he did it every show practically. I didn't watch all of them, but in the beginning when I first found him, of course I watched to see what was going on there. So,
Yeah, he's actually gone down the rabbit hole, the conspiracy rabbit hole with David Palacios. I bet you they spend each night on the phone with each other talking about conspiracies, falling to sleep with each other.
Well, you know, he's made promises to the community, like every after every show, something big's coming. We're doing this. Nothing has happened in 3 years. Nothing has happened. So it's just clickbait and getting you to get him paid. Really is what it's coming down
you
to.
to buy his books, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, his book with spelling errors in it, and he only wrote 11 original pages. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That book. Anyways.
Bad. Scott Carpenter and I used to watch Scott Carpenter in the beginning, and he just seemed like, original, but it's like his mind changed. I don't know.
There was something where he left this subject and then he reemerged with a completely different.
Yes,
well, actually, when he was starting to leave the subject, he started to change. Like it started to go a different direction, and I don't know what is going on in his personal life that might have directed this or whatever. But yeah, and then he was gone for a little while, and then he reemerged a completely different person. And once he got hooked up with the How to Hunt dude, he started taking on the How to Hunt personality, his bravado of like, I don't care what you guys, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And should have David Palacios on here too. It's a whole this whole little circle jerk right here of people. Man, these people are a problem because these guys are the Genome Project people. These are the ones
That's true. They are.
Steve Isdall. All these people right here are soliciting people to Melba Ketchum's GoFundMe for her mermaid study. So let that sink in, but people, if you support these guys.
And all of them are Squatch and Nephilim. Don't.
Yeah. All of them are subscribers to that massacre theory too, which is all just kind of.
Oh, I know.
It's so crazy.
10 years ago, that was debunked by Thomas and those guys, and then again coming around again. It's like,
It's sad that it's coming back around. It's unbelievable. I mean, all these people, at least MK and Melba just pop back up and started right where they left off. It's terrible, It's
right.
Yeah, and then the whole Melba thing. Holy crap! The last video I only did a touch on her, like just a very brief touch. Like, hey, you guys check this part out of her life, and I didn't even touch into anything else, which hopefully Steve will get into tonight on the show in 5 minutes.
Yeah, before she went public.
Come on, we got to keep going. I'm gonna be over, and you guys are all gonna want to leave. So, oh, see, now I won't even forward. What's going on? There it goes. Top Bigfoot movies. Harry and the Henderson exists, which had one of the ugliest, scariest Bigfoots in all of them. And The Legend of Boggy Creek. Those are my faves.
Good ones.
My top three.
Yeah, I was let down by that one you recommended, Brent, last week about insert The Last Dog Man. There was no dog man.
No dog. Someone actually wrote that comment. They're like, I'm 24 minutes into this movie and I realized there's no dogman in this. I'm gone. Literally, that's what he wrote. I'm like, okay, buddy. Sorry.
That's actually my dad's favorite movie.
I love that movie. I love it. Well, it references Jacko, and I love how they could stay hidden and remain. For some reason, it just resonated Bigfoot to me.
Yeah. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
so cool.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I talked about with that movie. I wanted to do like a movie night and stuff. I'm not really able to do it because life doesn't have. It's just not going to work. So I think I talked Nikki into doing it. So hopefully we can get her to do it like a Friday, Saturday night, because I think it needs to be done so we can all kind of collaborate, because I can't do it every weekend and stuff, and it's not going to happen. Literally, it sounds great, but I can't do it. So let's all support Nikki on doing this. So I think I talked her into it. So we'll see. We'll be there for the first one.
Yeah, hopefully.
I left. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just for the people who watch it, that whole place is filmed by my place here.
Really?
Close to my ear. Yeah. And the waterfalls, I don't know if you noticed in that movie, and the waterfalls, it's the same backdrop they used for Last of the Mohicans. And I can safely say, because I know those waterfalls, been to those waterfalls, there's no cave that goes through the back of the waterfalls. We actually sat there and looked it up last night when we were watching it. It's hilarious. Sorry, I wish it did. It'd be great, but.
Yeah, I love Jerry's comment where he's like, they got to have incest there or something because these are really young kids and the horse is there. And it's like, yeah, that was the same thing with Star Trek too. You know, the Wrath of Khan is like, all the crew members are like young.
Oh, man.
But anyway,
Donald, there's not going to be a part 2. Sorry, I'm gonna run over. So whoever, if you want to go over to Steve's show, by all means, go support Steve. I do support him, and I do try to end by 7. It's just it's not today. So thank you. Thank you for being here and hanging. I couldn't get some guys to shut up, so we're running over. No,
that was me.
Anyway, it's all good. I'm always on point, guys, so it's okay. I'm allowed to run over. Next. Scientist shout out, Dr. Todd Distel, Dr. Haskell Hart, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and Dr. Kathy Strain. Those are my top picks for scientists in the field, and I'm sure there's a few more out there, but that's what we got. The mad scientist.
I know, I like them. Good choices. Good choices, yeah, good reliable people.
So, my top chat supporters, but they probably already left. Sandra Piper, B. Lynn, and the Bat Mom. Are you in here? Bat Mom. All girls. They're part of my girls. So they are always there for me, and I appreciate you guys so much. And it makes me happy.
Don't worry, Graz. Don't worry, Graz. You're our number one. For the guys, you're our number one, Graz.
You're number one. You're all a number one.
Yeah.
But it is time, I believe. It is time for...
Show me what you got.
Jim, you heard them said, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh, boy.
Oh boy, this is Leon's favorite.
I love it too.
We've got, this is for Brant, actually, is what I was talking to you about. Oh my gosh, now on the screen it is tiny and I didn't make a copy of it. But Randy Bursom is going to be interviewed by Renaissance Man. And I think we should all support and go watch it. So did I tell you when it was, what time it was at?
No. I thought it was already done. Yeah. It's a nice little recreation of that face.
It may have been today, right before my show. It may have been, but it is Renaissance Man. Let's see what he has to say. I did make a comment under this, saying, hey, isn't this the guy that Thomas Steenberg caught hoaxing?
This guy's still new. Renaissance Man, he's still new to the subject, literally still new. So I wrote a comment underneath his YouTube channel on the video saying he should really go to this upcoming BC conference to go talk to Thomas and some of these other guys to, just get a different sense of who these other people are, because you should really do that. You shouldn't just take one side of a story when all these people. It's just
I got the impression he is in BC, right?
Yeah, he is, and because he hangs out with Randy and stuff. And I take responsibility for this because when I first did that video with Randy Brisson, I didn't think much of it. I was like, well, Thomas says it. Here you go, guys. And I didn't think it was going to get that much backlash of people like circumventing the truth like Randy's was able to. But you know, I take responsibility for that. But the next video that I have, which I will now start working on more, just because it would have probably prevented this from happening, will help show that he's a hoaxer, proof that he's a liar, but he'll still have his followers. But anyway, so that should be a fun one.
Yep. I'm gonna watch. I am gonna watch.
I'll take it out.
This right here is a Bigfoot in a cornfield, and
Why not?
I am going to show you what they are saying is a Bigfoot in the cornfield. So there we go. Oh, I'm turning the sound off. Now, I noticed that it was just standing there for a very long time, waiting for its cue.
Yeah.
Start walking. That was the first thing I noticed.
Well, they make crop circles too, by the looks of it.
Okay, here it is again.
Let's start that rumor. That'll be
standing, waiting, and go.
Action.
Yeah.
Well, looking at this, it doesn't look like they zoomed in at all. They shot it from as far back as they could. Looks like.
Yeah, I think it's that one Bigfoot with the gray face.
Oh yeah.
What's the source on this one? Who brought it out? RMSO.
It was just on one of those. No, it wasn't RMSO, but it was just a rando name I didn't know about on like Bigfoot Now or one of those groups.
Yeah, I think I've seen this one making the rounds.
So sad.
It is.
Yeah.
So
watching some of the like that grizzly one, that Sasquatch upside down, that was circulated last week here in Canada, or at least in BC on some of the pages.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. No. I mean, this is like 10 years old. Like great picture. Lucky you. It's great. Fantastic. It's like, we should get that.
And
we should
today,
get that one to jump out of a cake for Jay for his wedding. Get that Sasquatch.
Oh, and today we have a story out of the Sandusky Register, and this is coming from Fremont native Dan Chadinsky, an artist who has consulted on movies and been commissioned to create a work for exhibits at various museums, wanted to use his art to give back to Spiegel Grove. During a fundraiser on Thursday, May 18th, Chadinsky will discuss how he created a lifelike bust of Bigfoot titled Evasive Species, which will be on display at the Hayes Presidential Library and Museum in Fremont. The event is from 5:30 to 7. Tickets are $22. Funds raised will support the purchase for upkeep of trees at Spiegel Grove. Tickets are available at rbhays.org/Bigfoot Encounter. And Chadinsky created his interpretation of Bigfoot's footprint as well, and it will be raffled off. He says, where did he say? He says that he wanted to make it full size, but he couldn't. Where is it? Where does it say that? He wanted to make it full size, but it was going to have a hard time in the space in the museum. So they ended up just making it the bust. But he wanted to make it originally.
Just imagine someone's going to go see it, take a picture of it, fill the background full of trees, like it's looking through the trees. I like the fangs. I like the lower fangs. Obviously, they're blood-sucking creatures. The blood out of your neck.
Oh my goodness.
So what you're saying is expect to see this on Thinker Thunker as a real Bigfoot?
Yeah, somebody's going to grab that and
him
put it
with it already
into some
edited.
kind of CGI. And
They
it's
have the
gonna,
measuring sticks out.
it's going to be out there, peoples. So I'm just making you aware. And now I have a feel good story. It's the Daily World. And so these kids, these fifth graders, introduced for the Grays Harbor County Commissioners to declare Sasquatch refuge and protection area in the county, presenting that should the elusive biped exist, the hairy creature is at risk for extinction given the rarity of interactions with humans. That's what it says. So these students got together and they made a proclamation at the commission to make it a law or part of legislative to protect Bigfoot. So, and this is their second year doing it too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good. See kids doing something good, staying out of drugs and stuff.
So I thought that was a good story. The rest of the news was completely inundated with Bigfoot festivals and conference news. I mean, we're talking Westmoreland Convention, the Hawkins Hill Bigfoot Fest, the Paranormal PA Bigfoot Fest, Forest County Bigfoot Fest, the Salt Fork, Ohio Bigfoot Conference coming up. So it was just list after list, just promoting upcoming events. So,
and if you're in Canada, the Merritt Bigfoot Conference, which has gone ballistic in the news right across the province, by the way.
Ooh.
So it's just clashes everywhere. Only 2.5 hours away from Vancouver, the city of Vancouver. Oh my!
And now we have Be on the Lookout. So, my friend Eric from Paranormal Highway is having his season 2, episode 1, Pirates of the Galaxy, premiering about an hour after the show. So go watch that. It's hilarious. I think they have several Bigfoot people who are doing voices in here. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's pretty damn funny.
So I told him I would promote that for him. So that's Paranormal Highway. I believe I left all the links down in the description for a bunch of this stuff, people. So if you want to go and check those out, you should be able to find those links. Also, my Buy Me a Coffee is up and running for extras. That means I'm putting my wood burns up for sale. Finally, I'm starting slow. I just have one up there. I might be putting another one up tomorrow, and I'm working on another one. And I just sent my commission to Anthony from Unidentified S4. So with that commission, I was able to buy a new burner. So I am working. I am getting things done. You can also do commission work through this site. So everything is going to go through Buy Me a Coffee. You can commission work from me, or you can buy one of my already done wood burns.
Nice.
So
awesome.
That.
You're totally after the money, Nikki. You just want the money.
I am after the money.
Yeah.
I don't put.
You're exploiting it. You're exploiting this subject for personal gain.
I'm exploiting it completely.
No, that stuff takes a long time to do. I've seen Nikki do some of that stuff. It takes a long time, a lot of details. So yeah, it's
this stuff is cool. I mean, like really cool. This is the honest way of with this subject. So awesome.
Yep, for sure. Thank you. And I just keep getting encouragement to do it. And it's fun for me. It's hard to come up with the time, but I am dedicated now. I am going to do this. I'm going to see how it works out and give my time, because it's also very therapeutic to spend time doing that. So it makes me feel good after completing something like that. And it does take time. I'm not going to be videoing all those that I did do on this one. I did have a 3-hour live stream, while I was burning, but they're kind of hard to do and, keep concentrating and stuff on that. So I'm not going to be doing that for every single one, but some I might do,
You can always do a cool time lapse video.
Yeah, I might do something like that because I did have one person in comments say that's lasered. And I'm like, no, that is not lasered. And then I was able to send him the link, to the video of me doing it. So that kind of squashed that. And I thought, wow, if I didn't have that, they would just be saying she didn't do that.
Yeah, you can just say, watch some of the early morning coffee shows, the chill streams in the morning. Like I've seen you do the 3 or 4 different times on live.
Yeah.
Live.
So that is that. And my last notion, embrace the truth, face reality, and be tough. That's my new TRT. I'm going to come up with a new saying involving truth, reality, and toughness. Let's see how many I can do. And gentlemen, thank you guys for being here. We didn't go too far over. I feel good about it. So Eric, you got anything coming up?
I'm planning on getting out to the area that I sent you, that stone face, the chiseled face. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been planning on going out there, and I met with my co-cameraman today. And the only issue is there's a lot of wild hogs out there. So we got to feel like people have been attacked by wild hogs out there because the town is completely abandoned where these things are. So no one's lived there for since the 30s. So we're going out there. We just we got to figure out how we're going to stay safe. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Right.
But should be fun. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some faces that have never been captured on film or video before. So
that sounds cool.
Cool.
It's already getting hot, dude. It was hot here today. Was it hot there?
It was like 95. It was ridiculous.
It's getting hot over here for sure. How about you, Leon? You're just getting ready for your conference over there. That's what you're doing.
That is correct. Yep. I'll take your prayers if you have any.
You'll do great, man. I'm sure.
You're going to be great.
Oh, I know.
Is there going to be a live stream?
Yeah. Is it going to be recorded or something?
Yeah, you won't be able to watch. Well, I talked to Jerry about filming what I'm talking about, because if you try to go to the conference and just film what I'm going to talk about, you won't be able to put it on any type of platforms because you're going to get so many copyright strikes. So that's a bonus thing. I want to keep control of some of this information and stuff like that. Plus, I'd like to have people, because again, I'm going to go through a very systematic way of educating people. I'm setting up the whole audience the whole way through, but at the end they'll get why I set them up, and they'll know information in a way they wish, at least the panel wishes they didn't know before I got talking. That's for sure. So, and I hope Thomas is going to be speaking too, because I think he might be speaking now, so that's good. So, but he's supposed to come up for the questions and the answers as well. So, and then Alex will be there, which is great because he's going to stop in before he pops down there. So he wants to go down there before he stops in here. I think this is what he's doing. So that's awesome. It'd be great to see him.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Joe, you got anything coming up?
Well, no, just the usual, man. I'm just, gonna keep looking for answers, and if I, find any, then after they've been thoroughly vetted, I'll try to share it with people.
Okay. That sounds fair enough. Fair enough. We know, we all look forward to seeing you when you do come on, and we'll be there for you. How about you, Brent? I know you just came off of a good weekend.
Yeah, not much. Got to go make dinner after this, and that's pretty much what the rest of my day is going to be. But yeah, then I'll probably come out with a video for some of the stuff that we did this weekend. So maybe. Yeah,
you should see me about 2 hours before the show. We decided to go for an early dinner, so I was like, "We gotta hurry, we gotta eat."
Yeah,
I gotta get back.
Yeah, but our time zone is supper time. Let's go eat, right?
Yeah. So hey, you guys, I'm not gonna keep everybody anytime longer, so you guys can get over to Steve's show. Love you all. Thank you for being here, and for sure, we shall see you guys at the next chat. Love ya.